Today at Let's Talk Marketplace, we talked about
how to sell on the Dutch local hero marketplace Bol. Alex Ciorapciu, Director International Business at Bol, told how the platform has become an integral part of Dutch culture and how they now focus on international sellers.
Lots of interesting new opportunities for brands and sellers here. Have fun listening.
Let's Talk Marketplace.
The Marketplace podcast with Ingrid Lommer and Valerie Dichtel.
Welcome back, and let's talk about marketplaces once more. Or let's talk with marketplaces today, because we will dive deep into one of the marketplaces that I know our audience is most interested in, and that is the local hero of the Netherlands and Belgium, Bol. And I'm really happy that we get to do this. Aren't you, Valerie?
Yeah, well, I'm really glad actually to have Bol here, because we started introducing Bol to our LinkedIn followers in the past weeks, and those posts were both met with lots of interest. So I'm really happy that we can follow up on this today in our podcast. And to be very honest, I just hope that I will be able to stay for the whole conversation. I'm still working remote from Gili Air in Indonesia. And at the moment, I'm sitting in the middle of a future massive storm. So let's see if the internet connection will stay. Fingers crossed. And that's a good thing that we are two of us, right? So we can always cover each other up.
Yeah, so if you get hit by storm or by straying cats, as happened before in our calls, I can just take over. And if I'm hit by coughing fits, then you can take over, because I'm still not completely recovered from my sickness last week. But I think we'll make it. Anyway, right. Shall we welcome our guest today, Valerie?
Yeah. I totally agree. And I think we are just a very good matching, right? I would love to welcome our guest today, Alex Ciorapciu. Yay, I made it. Director International Business at Bol. Nice to meet you, Alex.
Nice to be here, ladies.
Yeah, it's really great to have you on the show, Alex. As I said before, lots of people from the marketplace business are really interested, also from our community, about Bol. I remember when I have a Dutch boyfriend, and it was almost 8 years ago or 10 years. And then back then I was like, hey, I'm working for Amazon, and they were like, what's Amazon? And I was like,
just that small company, you know.
It's the Dutch Bol. It's like the European, it's like Bol. Bol, yeah. So I was like, okay. Back then, no one knew Amazon, and now we are here and talking about you with you, and I think it's quite interesting. But before we start with talking about Bol and your online marketplace business in the Netherlands and other countries, we would get to know you a bit better, Alex. So actually, we have 3 questions for you. First is, who are you?
Well, I'm Alex. I am German. I live in Essingen, close by Stuttgart. Married, father of 2 beautiful children. And I've been in the software industry for around 20 years. Started my career at Adobe. I've been working afterwards for Hybris. And then in the early 2010s, I got a fateful call from an old colleague from Adobe and said, Alex, I'm in San Francisco and I've seen the future. You got to come over and see the future too. And I'm all in for seeing the future. So I traveled to San Francisco and interviewed for a little unknown company called Rich Relevance, which was founded by the guy that introduced personalization at Amazon. And they offered that as a SaaS solution to the market. And I got the opportunity to basically see every major retailer or brand worldwide from the inside, speaking about personalization to whoever would listen. So that was my entry into real e-commerce. And machine learning, because that's how personalization is really driven. And that's where I started learning about machine learning. I stayed there for about 6 years. In the meantime, we moved from Munich to Stuttgart. And my wife told me, Alex, you're becoming a daddy. perhaps it's time to stop the crazy traveling. And it just so happens that a local company here that you might be aware of, Bräuninger, was at one of our events. They were our customer, and they were looking for a new product guy with experience in data science. So that's how I came in 2017. I came to Bräuninger to start data science there. And we did a number of like pretty retail specific machine learning projects, price optimization, inventory optimization. And one of the projects we did there was a bit odd. It was called Auto Retouch and related to the automated retouching of product images. And we launched it internally. It was very successful. And we decided to make a separate company out of that. And that's how a couple of weeks before the pandemic started, we founded Auto Retouch, which I had the privilege to lead. And that was quite successful. And a couple of years later, we sold that to another French startup. I went on to work for TradeByte as the VP of product. And since 3 months, now I'm with Bol. That was my last 20 years in a nutshell.
An interesting turn through the whole industry there, I think.
Yeah, well,
so why did you join Bol with all this experience behind?
So for 2 specific reasons. Number one is when I left TradeByte, I actually wanted to take a bit of time off, because in the past 20 years, I've never had a single day off in between jobs. And I took the time to make a little note to myself of where I would like to work, how the next company should be. And actually at the top of that was, I would like to work for a Northern European company. Frankly speaking, I was thinking more along the lines of Norway or Sweden, because I worked for a Swedish company before, and that was a fantastic experience. But I think Netherlands fits the bill quite well, and I very, very much enjoy the Dutch culture and being there 3 days a week in Utrecht. I really like it. I grew up in the northwestern part of Germany, actually 60 kilometers away from the Dutch border in Haltern am See. It's a little city in the northwest of Germany, and it very much reminds me of my childhood. Apologies. And the second reason is the challenge is just very, very attractive, right? A local player for 25 years is undergoing a massive expansion. And that is not an easy task. And whenever there's not an easy task, I'm all in. I love that challenge.
That's really interesting, Alex. So what would you say, like in terms of like marketplace business, what do you do best in this kind of business? Well,
Valerie, you actually said it before, right? Remember your Dutch boyfriend? Bol is not just a marketplace in the Netherlands. Yeah, Bol is a part of the culture. It's a part of the identity of the past 25 years. It has transformed in a way Dutch society and how they shop. And it is so entrenched into the culture of this nation as few other marketplaces are.
Yeah, that's true.
And that really sets it apart. It's not like we have in Germany a certain relationship with the marketplaces, without naming anyone in specific, but yeah, we go shop there, but it's not the same quality. It's not the same level of trust that we have with our marketplaces as Dutch or Flemish people have with Bol.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
And that is really outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm really interested actually to hear more about later. Now I would like to have like one fun fact about you. Could also be some private thing.
Fun fact? I'm totally not prepared for that.
So you should have listened to our podcast before. Typical question.
I have listened to your podcast before.
Then you should be prepared.
Well,
And I have a question back to you. So, guess the car brand that I'm driving.
Tesla.
What do I look like?
no, he doesn't look like a Tesla guy.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I would have more thought something. I don't know. A Jeep. I'm saying a Jeep.
And you,
I'm
Valerie?
like, my first
Whatever.
guess would have been a Tesla, but I'm as bad with cars as with soccer teams, so I'm really not that good.
Difficult question for Valerie.
Yeah.
All right. So the fun fact is, I still drive my very first car that I bought with my own money, and that is an old Saab.
Wow.
And I will
That
continue to drive it forever.
Okay, until it falls apart. So how old is this
No,
thing
it
then?
will not fall apart. It's a Saab.
Okay. That is really impressive. How old is this car then?
21 years.
Wow. Okay. Right.
And I enjoy it as on the first day that I bought it.
Okay.
That's
Well,
great.
more power to the Saab then.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for that, Alex. I guess now we know you a lot better. And we did some free promotion for Saab as well, but I think we're all behind that one. So that's good.
They are bankrupt since 15 years.
Yeah, too bad, really. And their cars still go on. So something going wrong with the industry here, I think. Anyway, right. It was great getting to know you a bit better. And now we're looking forward to your insights on selling on Bol. We'll dive right into that. But before, I think we have some great news from our marketplace universe for you, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. We are very happy to invite you to the next chapter of our Marketplace Universe Connect event series on February 18th, 2025, on the evening right before the e-commerce Berlin Expo. We present an exclusive networking event sponsored by our partner Plenty One right in the middle of Berlin. So you can combine two industry highlights with one trip.
Yeah, what will you get? Well, as always, there will be great food and drinks. We always take care of that. And there's going to be an even greater company to network with, lots of marketplace decision makers from top brands and retailers. And we also have some great inspiration on the menu with our keynote debate by Malte Karstan, Amazon expert, and Katrin Wiesner, senior marketplace manager at Jack Wolfskin. They will be talking about their marketplace challenges and growth opportunities. So food for thought as well.
Yeah, and this event is tailor-made for brands of all industries, for example, sports, fashion, home and living, automotive, food and beverage, farm, etc. And of course, for all marketplace managers, e-commerce directors, and professional retailers and service providers in categories like home, DIY, garden, sports, and lifestyle. So spaces are limited to ensure a curated and impactful experience, so better fix your spot now on our website, marketplace-universe.com/events. And you will find the registration link also in the show notes.
Right. Maybe you want to join us, Alex, in Berlin, if you're in e-commerce expo anyway.
I think, I'm actually pretty sure that some colleagues of mine might be there.
Very good. Okay, well, let's see. Right. Normally at this point, we talk about what happened in the marketplace industry on the news side last week. There wasn't that much going on, so I don't have a full news flash to fill. But this is mostly due because the industry's debate was fully taken over by DeepSeek this week. So the new Chinese competitor to OpenAI, which is open source, needs a lot less resources to train and has a chatbot with some, let's say, interesting answers if you ask it about sensitive topics on Chinese history or Taiwanese politics. Yeah, anyway, Silicon Valley is quite in shambles over this. Stocks of NVIDIA have plummeted, and Europeans, I think, don't know if they should be happy about it, that they, fell behind the AI race and didn't lose a lot of money because of DeepSeek now, or if they should use this new technology for their own purposes. This is not mainly really our topic, but Alex, as you're an old machine learning kind of guy, I guess you have some thoughts about this. So have you followed the DeepSeek debate? What do you think about it?
Yes, of course I have followed that. I must say that I'm happy about the outcome of that. So the outcome that everyone realized the approach that we're currently having, namely going for larger models with more intensive training, with larger capacities, that this is not the way forward. We clearly hit a limitation in our approach to training models. That being said, from a very technical perspective, I don't know exactly how the DeepSeek model is trained. I didn't fully understand that yet. So let's leave a bit of wiggle room there until we have our final verdict. Right? I read opinions that they trained themselves on ChatGPT. So let's leave it aside. But I do think that it's very important to realize that this approach of throwing ever more resources onto the problem is yielding diminishing results. It's just a normal mathematical limit function.
Yeah.
We reached that. It's time to look for a new approach.
And it might be there. Yeah. All very fascinating, and I guess we'll be following this debate for the next weeks to come and what comes out of it. I don't want to dive that deep into it because it's still all very much in the flow, and I'm anything but an AI expert. But as we're talking on AI, can you give me a bit of insights on how Bol is treating the topic? Is AI something that you're working on at the moment or already using for your marketplace activities?
Yes, we do. First of all, we do have our own data scientists and AI engineers that are continuously building out our platform. And there are already a couple of applications that are live. Think of everything that is translation, that is powered by language models that translate. And as we will be talking today more and more about international, our customers are Dutch. They read in Dutch. It's still a requirement to have your content in Dutch. Few international sellers do have their content in Dutch. Translation of product content is something that is very high up on our radar to make it easier for our sellers to list their products on Bol.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think also it's a product translation, right? The content, but also the customer service, right? Because as I remember correctly, there was always like this, I would say, this challenge for external and sellers outside of the Netherlands that they were needed to have like a Dutch customer service if you want to sell on Bol, right?
Yes, that was indeed a requirement of the past. That is not the case anymore. You can provide an English-speaking customer service agent, and that person will speak English. For text messages, we do offer translation support.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, interesting. So I guess this is something you'll be working on a lot more and focusing on this year. So maybe we'll come back to that later. But for now, let's dive into how selling on Bol actually works just after a very short ad break.
I'm sure you all know that managing product data can be one of the biggest challenges in e-commerce. With multiple sales channels, constant updates, and different requirements for each marketplace or platform, it's easy to get overwhelmed and mistakes can lead to lost sales.
And this is exactly where Channable comes in, a powerful tool helping e-commerce businesses automate their feed management and online advertising. Whether you're selling on Amazon, eBay, Zalando, Bol, or advertising on Google or on Facebook, Channable makes sure your product data is optimized and meets the specific requirements for each channel.
Channable is a Dutch company founded in 2014 and today it supports thousands of businesses worldwide. The tool connects seamlessly with over 2,500 platforms, including marketplaces, comparison sites, and ad networks. Plus, it lets you integrate with your existing systems like Shopify, WooCommerce, or Lightspeed, ensuring your workflow stays smooth and efficient.
Additionally, Channelable accelerates your time to market so you can capitalize on new opportunities faster. With centralized management and automation, it streamlines your operations while boosting ROE by helping you reach more customers across multiple channels with optimized performance.
So if managing your product data is holding you back, Channelable could be a solution for you. Want to learn more? Check out the link in the show notes.
Okay, so let's get to the topic at hand and talk more in detail about how to sell on Bol.
Topic of the week.
Right, so Alex, as you told us before, Bol is this big household name in the Dutch and Belgian markets. But if you're not so familiar with these markets, there is a possibility you're not that familiar with Bol either. So maybe first give us a status quo update on what is Bol actually, what can you buy there, and which customers do you serve?
All right. So first of all, Bol, when it comes to e-commerce, you could call it one of the dinosaurs of the industry. It's been founded in 1999. And for e-commerce, that is actually quite old. It was a very interesting founding story. There's an entire book around that. That's why there might be some confusion with the Bol in Germany, which is different from the Bol in the Netherlands. But as I said, it's quite old and very, very well established. It is a general merchandise retailer. So you can buy basically everything. It serves the need of an entire household in the Dutch and the Belgian market. We have around 42 million articles online right now. And we reach basically every household in the Netherlands and in the Flemish part of Belgium. There are around 13.6 million customers that we have, which is basically the entire population of that. Around 25 million active users. So you see, they check in at least twice. What else can I tell you? We have around 47,000 sellers that we call partners. So whenever you will hear me speak about partners, what I mean is actually sellers. That is enshrined in the Bol mindset that a seller is a partner in crime or in business in that case. So let's call them partners. And it's all about delivery. The Netherlands is a tightly packed country with a high density of residents. So next day delivery is what Bol is very well known for and very well appreciated by the Dutch customers. We have around 10,200 pickup points, and it's absolutely custom that you order something from Bol and within 24 hours it's on your doorstep. And customers are really, really used to that, and they really, really like it.
I see.
That's great. And thank you for the first intro about Bol. What would you say are the main categories you're selling? I mean, you said that you're basically an everything seller, right? But where is your what are your USP categories where you say okay, these categories we are very proud of because we're very good in that ones?
So as I said, we are an everything seller, and I wouldn't want to place the emphasis on any specific category, right? If we look from an international seller perspective, you see categories where there are a lot of sellers. Electronics runs extremely well. And there are other categories where there aren't that many sellers, but it's growing. Think of do-it-yourself, toys, fashion. It's everything in there.
As the marketplace is so established in the Netherlands, especially specifically, how hard is it for international sellers to break into this platform? I mean, there is this whole industry formed around Bol in the Netherlands. There are integrators focused on that. There are ad agencies. People are all, there's sellers specifically selling only on Bol. So how can I even tackle this tight-packed market as an international seller?
Well, I think it's a matter of perspective, Ingrid. So you would think that because it's so tightly packed in the Dutch market, there is a lot of competition, but it's not necessarily the case because the sellers in the Dutch market offer a specific assortment, which also leaves a wide opportunity window to offer different assortment for which there is no competition in there. Because you do not compete with all of Europe like you would on Amazon. So from that perspective, I would say the opportunity for international sellers is really, really big, much bigger than it is on a global or European scale marketplace. You've spoken about integrators. We listened to the commercial of Channel. We're working with Channel Engine, with Rhythm, with TradeByte. All of them are always, for decades, open to international partners, right? So it is absolutely no problem for a Spanish, Italian, Polish, Romanian, Bulgarian partner to reach out to these integrators and connect to Bol. All of them have long-lasting relationships with us, established connections. So it's as easy as selling on your local marketplace.
If I want to sell as a seller on Bol, is it that you are an open marketplace or a closed one where I first need to say like, hey, Alex, like, can I sell? What is like the minimum requirement to be able to sell on Bol? What do I need?
So that's an interesting question. Because what we strive for is to have a profitable business relationship, right? That means we want our partners to also be happy about that. Going onto a new marketplace always is an investment on the part of the partner. And that investment, we are very certain that it will pay out, but you also need to bring a certain quantity in GMV to be able to see that return on your investment, right? That being said, I'm not talking millions. You can go through an integrator starting from an expected GMV value of around 100K. And
in which time frame? 100K in a month, a year?
Per year.
Okay, good.
So
okay.
the entry barrier is not that high. But what we are striving for is to have long-lasting, good, profitable relationships with our partners.
Is that why Bol in the last years has acquired a reputation for being a bit picky when choosing new partners? Because this is what I got from the market often, that, they didn't take me, they are not responding to me. I think that has changed over the last year, but how would you respond to this kind of reputation that you've got?
Well, if you think back to the start of our conversation where I was introducing Bol, there is something we need to protect, and that is our reputation in the market, which is as close to impeccable as it gets. Our customers trust us. They expect extremely high quality, maybe of the products and of the service and experience provided therein. So what we are absolutely adamant about is that we get partners into our network that can live up to the very high expectations that our customers have.
Okay. These expectations being, apart from short delivery time, which you mentioned before?
That the quality of the product, the physical quality of the product is the correct one, that it adheres to regulations, that returns are easy. By the way, I have something to say about returns later on. It might be very, very interesting. And that the partner is there for service. So if our customers have a question around the product, we expect our partners to be able to answer that and make our joint customers happy.
How do you ensure all of these things? So how does the evaluation process of a new seller work? How do you check out if they are really fit to meet your standards?
It's not necessary that we vet them first. So it's not that they need to do test orders or so. But once they are in, we do follow up. We do test orders. We have departments that ensure quality and customer experience meet the standards of our customers. So that is continuously monitored.
Okay.
What would you say in comparison to other marketplaces are your USP as the marketplace for sellers and international sellers? Because, I mean, I remember when I was working for Amazon, there was like, if a seller had a problem, then you have a ticket system and then you can be happy if you come to the right customer service partner, but you can also like fail and be very like in somewhere automation story lost. So how is it with both?
So I do actually have a friend that is an Amazon seller, and I do get all of these stories firsthand when we're having a beer.
I can imagine. Yeah.
So let me introduce you to a technical innovation that we introduced at Bol a couple of years ago. And that is really cutting edge technology here. We call it the telephone. And there is a phone number you can call. And then a real human being picks up the phone and listens to your concern or problem and tries to find a solution together with you.
This is so high end. I mean, come on.
AI
can just go suck up.
I know the tech bros from Silicon Valley are eager to scale that.
Well, to be very honest, we're now making fun out of it, but actually that's pretty good because I think like even like 8 years ago, I didn't have a phone number when I was working as a vendor manager at Amazon. So that's really a great opportunity, for the sellers to reach someone like personal and talk to someone and place my challenge I have, right?
No,
that's really nice.
Jokes aside, this is really important to us. As I mentioned before, we are striving for a long-lasting, good and profitable relationship, right? If you're a normal business, like not e-commerce, right? You are partnering with someone and you expect to be able to talk to that person. And that's something that just in the last decade of we automize absolutely everything, sort of went away. And in some parts, automation is good. In other parts, it can have inverse effects, like here. What is the effect of all of these ticketing systems? It's frustration. It delays the solution of a problem. And we do have the mindset that if there is a problem, and there will be problems along the way, it's absolutely normal. My favorite quote here is, the problem is not the problem. Your attitude with the problem is the problem. Comes from a very wise man called Captain Jack Sparrow. Right? So there will be problems, but we're here to solve them together with you.
Yeah. Well, that's a very good and unique approach in the marketplace business, I have to admit.
Yeah.
But speaking about numbers, Alex, and you also scratched it already. What about return rates? How are the Dutchies and the Belgian people about returns?
Right. So, as I said in my introduction, I did work for Breuninger, and I worked for TradeByte, integrator, part of Sears and Zalando. So I do know the one or the other thing about returns, especially when it comes to the German marketplace. Disclaimer, I am not able to disclose any specific numbers, as these numbers also, as you know, vary significantly from one category to the other. But what I can say is that I was very positively surprised to see a significantly lower return rate in the Netherlands than it is in Germany, than what I am used to. And what I think is actually happening is that Germany does have a significantly higher return rate than other territories. So the Dutchies are way more normal in that respect. But for anyone who is selling online, returns are just a big pain. I remember shoes that had a 90% return rate. So a shoe had to be sold 9 times before it ended up in the right hands.
Yeah,
and that is not what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing very healthy return rates that, if you're doing business in Germany, will be a delight to see.
Do you have an explanation for that? Why the Dutch people are returning so much less than the German people are? Is it normal to pay for returns in the Netherlands, or is there another reason for that?
No, it is not. I think it's a combination of 2 factors. One is the rigorous high quality that Bol promises and ensures, may it be in the product quality or in the delivery, that it's really there when it's promised to be. So that is one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is, I think that in Germany, returns are pretty much out of hand. So they are unusually high.
Yeah, I think there are always differences. I mean, country differences in terms of return rates. Definitely the Germans are crazy about return rates, and also the marketplace also. For example, if I compare Zalando, Germany return rate versus Amazon return rate in fashion, then Amazon is always the better one. Which means less return rate. And then obviously, if I have a look, for example, on Zalando numbers in fashion, Germany compared to the Netherlands is always also lower. So we have this matrix of category versus country and marketplace, where do they come from, how are the customers of the marketplace are already educated, let's call it like that, in terms of return rate, right? And that's, I think, a mixture, and that sounds like a good mixture for Bol, to be very honest.
So perhaps in this part, it would be wise to mention that Bol offers a complete package to its international sellers, because let's be honest, the biggest challenge for an international seller is the delivery time, right? It just geographically, you are further apart. It takes longer to ship the goods. So it is a very wise idea to use our logistics service that is absolutely top notch. And that ensures, on the one hand, that you offer the same delivery time as local sellers. You get access to the buy box. Not access, but your probability of getting the buy box is way higher if you offer next day delivery. And at the same time, we take care of the returns. So it's a very pragmatic and easygoing solution for international sellers.
I would add to the delivery time, which is the challenge. It's also the delivery cost, which is also often a challenge in terms of like cross-border e-commerce. How about that with your service?
Well, it works like a known fulfillment service. So you ship the goods to our warehouse in bulk. That saves on your transportation costs. And then you get the rates that we have through PostNL, which are negotiated on Bol total level, which you can imagine is way more attractive than doing your own stamp.
Yeah.
Can you work us a bit through the costs of selling on Bol? I mean, we have you need a commission to sell on. You need if you use the logistics service, there's something that Bol would like to have about this. I guess there's a payment fee, there are advertisement costs. So, what does it cost to sell on Bol?
Well, I do not have an exact number in here because it depends on which category you would like to serve. Which logistics services you would like to utilize, and how much you would like to spend on advertising. That being said, I would like to add two things to here. We will provide a comprehensive overview of our cost structure that you can then publish and or link. And from what I've seen, all of the analysis that I have seen of our partner performance so far is that there is a direct correlation between the usage of the joint services. So you sell, you use logistics and advertising. That does result in a way higher GMV for you. Now, that should not come as a surprise. The surprise is how big the correlation is and how important it is to use all of the three pieces together to really be successful from the start. Right? It doesn't require a warm-up phase of a year. You can get up and running in
pretty
a
fast.
couple of weeks.
Okay. Yeah, that's great to know. So, Alex, what are your plans for Bol for this year? Like, do you want to share something about?
Right. So, as you already know, I am responsible for international business, and we are looking to broaden our assortment by building relationships with partners from the EU. I'm traveling quite a lot, meeting with agencies, integrators, and partners alike all over the European Union. And we would like to attract more international sellers to discover the very profitable Dutch market. Get a new, very stable and predictable revenue stream from the Netherlands, and build a joint, long-lasting and profitable business. That's what I'm up to.
And you know what? That's pretty interesting, and I'm really glad to hear that, because as Ingrid said before, sometimes like sellers from other countries, despite of Netherlands, they sometimes were in the past a bit frustrated. They were like, yeah, but I need to be like Dutch customer service and this and that. And we see that you have like improved so well in terms of this, and now you're focusing even on expansion, like getting more outside sellers from to the Netherlands, and that's really really good to hear. So there is like so to all of you who are listening, there is like a new chance to try it again, maybe, because if you failed in the past, there is a good new opportunity now.
Thank you very much, Valerie.
Yeah.
Let me take this opportunity to say, yes, I do know all of that. I also heard about frustrations in the past. I'd like to be testament to the fact that Bol is committed to a long-lasting international expansion. This is not just an idea. It's not just me. There is a team of around 30 plus super friendly, super nice, and very capable colleagues of mine focused solely on international. We are growing our team. We are growing our partner base in international, and we are committed to a long-lasting relationship here.
That sounds great.
Wow.
And I also heard that you are sharing some promo, right, for new sellers?
Yes, we are. There is a promo going on, and that is valid until the end of February, until the 28th. And that is a 50% commission discount for creating a Bowl account by signing up through one of the following integrators. And they are Channel Engine, Rhythm, TradeByte, and Channable. And that will qualify you for a 50% discount on the variable commission up to June 30th of this year.
So that's
That's
a nice
very generous.
opportunity to start at the moment, I guess.
Yeah, that is a hand that we stretch out and say, come on, let's do business together.
Okay. Right. So I guess we've been talking quite a lot about Bowl now. We have not finished by far. There's, I think there would be still much more to talk about. So if people have more questions on your platform, whom can they contact at the moment, Alex? Is that you, or is that is there a team that you can tell us about? Where should they start with their connection with you?
Of course, reach out to me. Mm-hmm. I'll forward all requests to the right people. But the easiest and most logical place is to go through our website to the partner network and send a request there. Mm-hmm. And this will fill it straight to the right people in the international team.
Okay, right. Okay, then I guess that's it for today and for Bowl. Right, so thanks for listening to us today.
Thank you also for joining us, Alex.
Yeah, thank
you very much.
Here.
Thank you so much
for being our guest.
Merci. Gracias.
And hopefully maybe coming back for a second installment so that we can dive a bit deeper into everything that we have just touched upon today. Right, so that was our podcast for today. What are you going to do next week, Valerie?
Well, to be honest, I don't know. Maybe you can tell me.
It's going to be a very sensitive topic. Because you're the podcast content queen. Yeah, you could read our content plan here and then. You would know. But I will tell you, we will be talking about a very sensitive topic. We will be talking about financing then. As our retailers know, the problem of running capital that is bound in stocks, and how that hinders further growth because the money you need to reorder is not yet in your account, even though you've already sold your last stock, you will own the business. And we will talk about this problem with multiple brand founder Anne Kristin Lipsky and Joab Bucks from Storefound. And they have different ways to solve this conundrum.
That sounds quite juicy. So you don't want to miss that. And yeah, I would say until next week then. Thank you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You listen to Let's Talk Marketplace,
the Marketplace podcast with Ingrid Lommer and Valerie Dichtel.